Hello team, you are at your day 13 of week 2. This is the flow practice where we combine days 8 and 12 together into a mega class. So if you've been practicing throughout the week, you will know all the moves. And let's start with your crunches coming up and reaching to the knees. Good, exhaling as you come up and then reaching all the way. You would have seen these moves throughout the week, familiarize with them, and then we're just going to bring them into one mega class lasting about 30 minutes, 35 minutes or so. See how you go and let me know how you feel at the end of it. I bet you'll feel like you've got a decent workout hopefully by your week 2 as we bring in some of the beginner moves, a little bit more of some more intermediate moves together. And tomorrow you'll be rewarded with a nice recovery and stretch. So let's give it as much as we can. Enthusiasm at the start. Luckily there's a 10 seconds rest in between. Nice work. First move out of the way. Legs in tabletop position. Let's come into your 100s. Definitely warming up through the core now. Head and shoulders up, arms beside you, and beat those drums. Breathe out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And keep going with that breathing out for 5, in for 5. Starting to extend those legs out a little bit straighter, just to make it a little bit harder and challenging for yourself, but feel free to keep it bent. Otherwise, lower it down even lower to get that extra little kick in the belly. Chin tucks into the chest, right? Be safe for your neck for me. Amazing, your 100s is done. We're going to do that roll up, leg extended. Let's start to activate through the spine, arms extended all the way out. Inhale here, exhale, let's roll up. As you roll, one leg comes in towards the chest and gently roll it down, reach all the way up above the head. Exhale, come up, let's alternate to the other leg, lifting it up and then just rolling that body all the way down. Good, stretching out when you get the chance through the spine and lifting it through. Good work, team. So aiming not to kick out through the legs. We're going to start to work the core. Obviously, we just got to work on that mobility also in the spine to help you lift. If you don't want to come all the way up, you can always do a halfway roll up and then go back down. All right, let's bicycle at home. Hands go behind your head. Lift your head and shoulders up, legs in tabletop, and let's twist. One breath, one movement, trying to get that elbow to the outside of that bent leg while the other one extends all the way out to 45 degrees. Back is not arching though, and we're going to try to lift high enough to get your elbows to touch to the kneecap all the way to the outside if you can. Good, and release it out. Coming over into your plank position, hands go underneath the shoulders, knees are down below the hip. Level 1 is on your knees, level 2 straight onto your toes, tapping that leg out to the corners, alternating through. So if you've done my week 2 workouts, you'll know your option is always to be on the tippy toes, and you can go straight into it straight away for me. Motivation here to work at your top level, make it worthwhile. Keep eyes looking forward, make sure that bum doesn't bop up and down and it stays stable. Fingertips are loose. Don't overuse the wrist. Good. Pull back, shake out the wrists if you need to a little bit. Alright, let's go back onto the back and do a full bridge workout with the arms lifting, the hips are lifting off the ground and coming down again. So squeeze the glutes, pull in the belly button as you lift, arms coming up and down if you wish to. Otherwise, keep the hands on the ground, pressing the back of the arms into the floor to help you lift the hips a little bit. For those of you who've got your activation of the glutes, feel free to lift the arms straight off the ground. Good. All right, we're going to go single leg lifts with the leg. We're going to start with the right leg, hands beside you if you want to start with. So that right leg goes up and then we draw it down, lift it back up and then drop it. Lift the hips back up, right leg tall, down we go, up we go without the hips dropping. Tricky this one when it's a single leg lift. As people draw that leg down, they always want to drop the hips, but the aim is not. Arms come up into the air if you can. Extend when the leg lifts, the arms come up. Good. Again, if you've done my weeks and days, you can start to go straight into your harder level, which is arms go up straight away. Take the arms behind your ears. Otherwise, options are always there. Depending on how you're feeling today in the body as well. If you had a rough week, tiring, might take the lower options as long as you're moving. All right, let's give it a moment and then we're gonna go left leg does the exact same thing, up to the roof and lift and draw it down. Like you're painting a wall in front of you and then lifting it back up, dropping it down, hips nice and high. Sometimes if you're not even motivated to do it, but once you start the movement, you just sort of keep going with it and you start to feel better about yourself. Don't talk yourself out of working out unless you're very, very tired or you're not feeling 100%. But if it's just a motivation thing, sometimes motivation comes from just moving the body a little bit. All right, let's start to kick it up a notch, taking the arms up, lowering the arms and legs at the same time. Great work. All right, coming to your side obliques, taking your right arm underneath the shoulders, bending. Right, again, level 1 is knee stacked. Level 2 is your top leg straight. Level 3 is both legs are straight. You can go straight into it. No need for me to wait for me to demo if you've done the other classes. Hips come off the ground, right? The bottom side of your stomach should be feeling firm as you're lifting it up because you're using that waistline. Imagine someone has a harness around your waist at the bottom and they're yanking you up to lift your hips up. You want to feel that and not in your shoulders. So you're not pressing with the hands to lift, you're actually using your core to lift. Great. All right, come on up. Straight into it to the other side. Same concept. Left arm is underneath your shoulders, hands on the hips. Start to lift the hips up and down. Straight into level 2 or level 3. Options are yours. Take your options, right? You can always change your mind, come back to the level before or take it up a notch for your last 20 seconds. Perfect. Shake out that shoulder if you need to. We're going to come onto the belly and we're going to swim now. Arms extended. Remember, arms can stay on the ground or they can lift straight away. Toes are pointed. Think about length. Don't think about too much for height. Think about pulling out your legs first and then start to kick and then squeeze the glutes, pedal in your belly button. Level 2s, let's start to lift the arms up around the ears. Same thing as I said during the week. Depending on your shoulder mobility and strength, you may not lift it straight up and cover your ears. You may just take it off the ground and that is totally fine. With your arms slightly bent as well is also an option. Just choose what works for you. Good, and release it. Let's start to work on your arms, bringing the hands into a diamond shape underneath the chest. Remember, level 1s, your knees are right under the hips. Level 2s, your knees are going straight back behind your hips so that you're a bit more on a slide angle. That adds more weight into your arms. Elbows are pointing at about like an A-frame to the sides of you. Chest coming down towards the ground. The lower you go, the harder it is, because to get up there, you have to fight against gravity. But it also means that it builds up that arm muscle as you go lower and push yourself away from the floor, pressing the hands up and down. Amazing work, team. Keep at it. Almost done with the arms here. Good. All right, coming into that bear crawl with the taps. Remember, you've got options to release your knees down. Hovering your knees just 1 or 2 centimeters off the mat, pressing the floor away. And then we're stepping out, alternating legs, and then dropping the knee in the middle. But you know, level 2s, the knees do not come down anymore. We're just going to keep tapping. Tap, tap, tap. Eyes looking forward. Try not to have your hips lifted so high that your bum is now above the shoulders or even above the head. Imagine that is not as effective on your core than if you just hover your knees. Also, your thighs get to work out here at the same time. Double the whammy. It's very efficient when you can work more than one muscle at a time. It's the best way to do it. Nice. Shake out the wrists if you need to. Pull back into a child's pose just to release out through the arms and a little bit in your core. One arm across the chest just to loosen up the arms a little bit in the shoulders. Alright, don't relax too long. I'm going to move you into the next move. We're going to stand up for me. We're going to do the balancing work. So hop over 3, 1, 2, 3. Inside leg lifts off the ground while the other leg is slightly bent. 1, 2, 3, and lift. Start 2, maybe jump at 1, 2, 3, and arms extend as you lift that inside leg up. Good work on your balancing technique here, as well as using your core at the same time. Strong core, strong balance, always goes hand in hand together. And of course, strong legs. Correct, team. We're a bit more than halfway now, so keep going. The next move is still standing. We're going to lift that right knee up. Arms can go straight into the lift, as you can see in my preview, or you can keep hands on the hips. Exhale to lift, inhale to drop. Remember, during the week, when it got harder, we actually extend the legs with the arms lift. You can go straight into that as well if you wish to. Some of you are right there to start doing the harder version straight away. But otherwise, here with me, lift the knee first, extend the leg out, drop it back in. Obviously, if you started on this mega flow one, this might be the first time that you're seeing these moves. That's okay. Don't worry. You can keep going with it. Just learn as we go. And then if you try it again the second time, It'll feel a lot easier. Or you can revisit some of the videos during the other days, and it'll help you with this mega flow one. Good. All right, shaking out the standing leg maybe, because sometimes it gets a little bit cramped up. All you're going to do is go straight into the left side, lifting the knee, lifting the arms, and extending the leg. If you want to go straight into the hard bit, otherwise, later it up. Start with just the knee lift, and then the arms, and then eventually the balancing of that leg kicking forward. I'll tell you when. Good. Start to extend the leg. So we're holding that balance for a little bit longer than you were doing it before. Stabilize through, breathing out as you lift, because you want to pull in your belly button right into the spine, and then kick it forward. Great. All right, we're going back into the right leg for the balance. We're going to lean slightly into that right leg. Make sure there's always a bend, and we're going to pull the leg and knee in to the left side. Tilt. So the level 2 option is to not drop the foot down and tap to the ground. You can just keep it up in the air the whole time, as I'm going to demonstrate right here. Good. Make sure the standing leg is not hyperextended. I feel like people lock out their knees because they feel like it's nicer for their legs, but actually it doesn't work the muscle, it just works the joints a bit too much. Nice. Alright, we're going to do that on the other side. Shake out the legs anytime you need to. Tap the toes down if you also need. Right, leaning into your left side, slight bend in the left knee now. Pull it in beside you. Remember, the height is up to you. If you can bring the elbow and knee to meet in the center of the body, you can definitely do that. Level 2s, let's float that leg up the whole time now. Or do a few and then put it back down, especially if getting the wobbles. I find I have different sides. My right side, because I'm right-handed, is the dominant side. You might be the same, or your left-handed and your left side is a little bit stronger. Everybody's a little bit different from one side to the other. It's not bad if you're slightly not symmetrical, but obviously that's why we do it equal times on both sides, to try to even it out a little bit. Nice. And shake out the legs. All right, we're going to lean over to the right leg, left leg extended. We're going to start to lift your back leg. Arm comes up, my level 2 straight away. Level 1s, hands under the hips. First time seeing this move, take it at your own pace. Toes are tapping to the ground. All right, exhale, start to lift the arms up as the leg comes up into the air as well. You're trying to create a nice diagonal line. All right, tips of this move is in my day 10 video. If you want to revisit it, go for it. Or if you want to work on your balance a little bit more, day 10 is the day for you. Good work of that 50 seconds of balance. We're going to turn to the other side. Left leg is in front, exactly the same thing. Straight into the harder options with the arms lifting if you want. Otherwise, just start with the legs, or maybe even stay with just the legs today. Don't worry about the arms at all. Eyes are looking about 1 meter in front, staring at a spot that is not moving. Right, the foot, there is a little bit of arch in the middle. Make sure your toes are relaxed. Arms start to lift. If you are with me on the video, here you are, lifting the arms and legs together. Nice, shaking out that standing leg. All right, we're going to move into your roll down. So moving your body over to one side of the mat. Chin tucks into the chest just to get a little bit of release out. And roll it up. So if you can't reach the hands all the way down to the ground because your lower back or your hamstrings are a bit stiff, don't worry, just go to where you can and try to increase the range over time and roll it up. This is really good to activate through your spine, especially if you're sitting all day and you're a bit hunched over, or you've got like mobility issues in your back. Good to do a few roll downs throughout the day there to help you out. Also moves through the body to reduce that stiffness. Good. All right, we're coming all the way down onto the hands and knees. Coming into your donkey kicks and fire hydrants, hands underneath the shoulders. Right leg is going to start, toes flexed in, lift up and rotate out. So you're pushing the heel up towards the roof and then you're rotating that knee to the side, horizontal to your body at about hip level if possible. We're definitely more than halfway now, team. You are doing so well. Keep up with it. At the end, you will feel so good for doing that super set this week. Straight up, straight to the side. Squeeze the glutes to lift and rotate. Good, and release, shaking out the wrists. All right, we're going straight to the other side. So you might not have noticed in the video, you can always lift the opposite hand up, pop it behind your head straight away, as I did in my day 11. If you've done that day 11, you'll know opposite hand coming off the ground, touching the back of the head makes it a little bit harder, and you can go straight into that. Or you can keep the hands down the whole time. If you did that on one side, just do it on the other side. Otherwise, opposite arm. Right hand comes behind the head and just using your one arm to balance if you wish to. Perfect. Shaking out the wrists if you need. All right, let's come into the saw so that you can activate your spine. Legs out extended, arms up to shoulder height. You're going to twist your body to one side and reach the opposite hand to the outside of the foot and twist. What you don't want to do is lift your hips up. So if I'm turning to my right side, my left hip should not be leaving the ground. You should be planted like you're glued. Super glue your pants to the floor, and then you are just twisting through the torso to help with your spine rotation and improve your mobility right here. So roll downs, twists in the saw is always very good to increase your mobility over time. Great work, team. All right, coming into your V-sets, this is all about your abs. Make sure the technique is good so that you protect your lower back. There's a C curve, which means you're tucking the pelvis under as you roll back. One leg lifts and then you come back to sit up. If you need to, you might put a little towel underneath your lower back, especially if your tailbone feels like it's grazing against the ground. I sometimes like to fold up my mat, especially if the floor that you're on is quite hard. If you're on a carpeted floor, generally it's a little bit nicer for this move. But I have seen people put like a little cushioning underneath your glutes to help you out, and then suck in that belly, because it's not about hurting your tailbone. This is about activating your stomach muscles right down beneath that belly button across the belly. Pull it in tight. Breathe out as you roll down. Inhale as you come up. fold forward. Generally, I like to do that just to release out my lower back. Right, this is sometimes called a Russian twist. You are going to roll your body back a little bit, hands clasped, and then your elbows are out to the side, and you're aiming to get your elbows closer to the floor to either side of you, twisting it out one at a time. One breath, one movement is what we're going for here. It's quite a fast move. You're just going to do one breath, one movement. Good, and release it out. So dropping all the way down onto the elbows. We're going to do big circles with the legs, going one way and then the other. So toes pointed, drop down, open out the legs, lift up to the roof. Chest lifted, tummy muscles pulled in. Not rocking the torso, we're just moving the legs quite dramatically, really. At the halfway point, all we're going to do is reverse the circle. So if you're going to go down, up, and around, then you just do it the other way later so that you work a little bit. So here we go. We bring it in to us, extend it out, and then low down to the ground. So lift. This works your lower abs. All that muscle below the belly button there helps you to lift the legs up in a little crunch, reverse, and then drop it down and cycle it out. Great work, team. Just swishing the knees a little bit side to side, just to loosen up that lower back. Sometimes you get a little bit twingy sitting in that V-sit for a bit longer. All right, we're going to go over onto the side and to the right. Bring your right hand underneath your head, knees are stacked, bend the knees a little bit towards you, toes flexed in on the top. We're going to go up with the leg and kick it out. This is your glute component. You did this on day 12, so the day before this. If you still remember it, don't worry that it burns a little bit through the butt. That is what you want. Kick out, lower it down. If you like it, obviously, go do day 12 a few times if you want to, because it's quite short. I think it's like only 10 minutes. And then you can always do it here as well once you build up to all the other movements and finalize with a bit of glute and bum burn. Good job. No need to get a BBL, just keep doing these moves over and over again. Good, give a little tap tap. All right, we're gonna bring that leg to the center, toes flexed in. We're gonna do like an L shape. It's gonna go up to the roof and then it's gonna come forward. Tummy muscles need to hold strong so that you don't swing your body around. Quite effective. When your glutes are a little bit stronger, it also helps with your lower back. So not only is it about a vanity thing to grow your glutes, some people want to get that peachy bum, but it's also more importantly for your health, protecting your lower back. A strong glute will always help with that. Also, you don't have to always overuse your legs if your glute will activate a little bit more properly. Sometimes it doesn't like to cooperate. It likes to just to sit. But we want to move it and help us move our legs. All right, nice. Tap it out. We're going to go into rainbow soon. Toes are pointed if you can, unless you got calf cramps. And then we're going to swing forward, lift up into the middle like an arch, draw a little, like a semicircle, little bit of a rainbow. It doesn't have to be a gigantic wide rainbow. It can be quite a petite one, but it does need to have that arch so I know it's a rainbow and not just a straight line or even a squiggly line, which some people tend to do as their butts get more and more tired and burnt. It feels like sometimes a cramp in that glute area. It's because a bit of a lactic acid. You are using up energy quite fast and it's trying to convert energy and it creates like this junk in your butt. But as soon as you stop and stretch a little bit, that sort of cramp feeling does disappear. So don't stress if this is the first time you're experiencing it. As long as it's in the muscles, generally it will be okay once you stretch it out or once you even stop the exercise. Good. Tap it out. All right, we're going to come into bridge. I like to do a little figure 4, just a quick little release. All right, bridge work, holding, tapping your foot forward and back without rocking the hips. So this is using still the glutes, but the back of the glutes now. You work the sides of them, now you work the back of them. There's lots of components to the butt, which is why it's important to use as much of it as you can. So try not to drop the hips too low. You don't have to take the feet out very long. If you find that you are dropping, you just can take it like 2 centimeters forward, 2 centimeters back. Or if we're talking different metrics depending on where you are from, a few inches out, or 1 or 2 inches out, 1 or 2 inches in, or just even 1 inch forward, 1 inch back is fine as well. And release. All right, we're going to hold the bridge for a very long time. When I say very, it's 50 seconds. Up on your tippy toes, arms up in the air. Don't use the arms if you can help it. Lift the hips and we're going to drop it halfway down, halfway up. I also like being on my tippy toes because it helps to keep the range a little bit taller so that when I drop my bum, it doesn't hit the floor. Sometimes I see when people reduce the height, it's mainly just sitting on the ground and they're very tempted to stay there and not lift it back up again. But if you keep it off the ground the whole time, there's no temptation there, and just keep pushing up and down. Little pulses in your bridge. We're very close to the end now, team. Stay with me because if you made it this long, you might as well finish it. And then I'll give you a little bit of a stretch. And then the next day come back because we're going to do a full stretch with a bit of relaxation and breathing and release. It's nice to also have recovery days so that your muscles can come back and do it again. So let's go over to the other side. Left arm is underneath you. Let's start to lift the leg and kick it out to the diagonal. Toes flexed in towards your shins. Great. All right, give a little tap in the hips if you need to. Otherwise, we're going into that L shape with the legs. Top leg is extended nice and straight. Toes flexed in, up, down, forward, and back without swinging through the body. All right, like a duck. Top half is nice and controlled, and we're not going to rock the body like we're doing a disco. There's a lot of Zumba in Australia. I don't know if there's a lot of Zumba in other countries, but sometimes people's body rock around like they're just doing a little bit of a Zumba dance as opposed to a Pilates workout with me. Good. One more little bit of leg to do coming up soon. All right, tap it out. That butt is burning. Let's start to go into your rainbows in a few seconds. Toes pointed to the front and bring it to the back. Remember, the arch is what I'm looking for. I don't mind if your legs are not going very wide. Your toes do not even have to touch the ground, but you do have to swing it forward and back there with a little bit of arch in the middle without the body rocking again. So generally my top hand sits on my hips because I want to keep that hip stabilized. You can also bring that top hand forward in front of you if you find that you do rock a little bit backwards and forwards in the body as you're moving through the legs. Great work. Coming on your back. No, that is not right. Coming up onto your feet. We are going to do some squats. All right, so that's that for your butts. Now we're standing into squat. I believe there is only 2 more exercises to go before you are done and we're ready to do a stretch out. All right, so coming down like you're sitting on a low chair, right? Not sitting like on a tall bar stool or sitting on a chair that is suited for a giant. You are sitting on a chair to your average height. Down low, that bum needs to get low to get that bum all the way down onto the chair and then lift it up. Almost as a guide, use your elbows to tell you, maybe they graze against the top of the thigh. That's the depth that you want to go with. Amazing. All right, we're going into our last move for this sequencing now. We're going to stay low in the squat and we're going to just alternate through the heel lifts and lift, lift, lift. Do not bop yourself up and down. I find that people tend to get a little bit taller over the course of the movement because obviously their legs are starting to burn a little bit, but I believe you are not cheating there at home. You are staying nice and low and just keep alternating through your heel lifts. Good for the calf, good for the muscles in the foot, good for your thighs. Very close, team, to the end. You've got like 10 seconds so to go. You've got this. If you've made it this long, I would just muster through because this is it. Great work, and you can release the legs, take them out nice and wide and flip it forward. Hands to the ground if that works for you. Don't stress if it doesn't. Lean to the right, stretch out the legs, lean to the left. Now remember, if your body feels a bit tight now, we're going to go into a stretch tomorrow, so come back. And then we're going to stretch out into the quad. Right leg comes up. Hold onto a wall if you need to. And then left leg comes up. Turning to the left side. And then coming down. Taking your right leg over the thigh. Push your chest forward. This just opens up through your glutes for me. And then swap it over. I mean, you didn't have to turn to the left. You could just sit down and face whichever way. It doesn't matter to me, as long as you're stretching out both glutes. And then legs come forward, reaching your hands down towards the toes. No stress if it doesn't get there. And you are done. Thank you so much for keeping up the whole class. Now remember to come back tomorrow for your stretch and relaxation as you deserve it. Bye.